Hello, hello, empowered principals and aspiring principals. This webinar is going to be geared for aspiring leaders. I have done this webinar in the past, but I've added some things to it. I've created this particular webinar. So if you're watching this live, it's June of 2024. This is the hiring season, the interviewing season. Some of you have already been hired and you're just getting started. Congratulations. Others of you have a desire, a goal of getting hired as a school principal. Congratulations. If you are on this journey, if this is your path, you are welcome here. This is your safe space. This is the place where you're going to learn and grow and evolve, and you're going to land that job. There are two aspects of interviewing that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to try to keep this training to about 30 minutes. There's so much to cover. And if you join the Empowered Principal Collaborative, I will go into it more extensively. Or you can join my membership, the Empowered Principal, via School for a fee each month, where you can just gain online access to all of my content on demand. But for this live version, I'm going to teach the basics. I'm going to talk about the things you need to be thinking about and the way you need to be preparing and the way you need to set yourself up so that you can go into these interviews and get hired. So for those of you who are meeting me for the very first time, if you're brand new to the Empowered Principal world, I welcome you. My name is Angela Kelly. I'm obviously a former educator. I was a teacher. I was an instructional coach, a reading specialist. I was a site leader. I was a district leader. And the last almost 8 years now, I am a certified life and leadership coach for school leaders. So I'm a life coach who specializes in creating exceptional results for school leaders. I help you build an exceptional school and live an exceptional life, because you are one human. You have a big job to do professionally, but we also want you to enjoy yourself, have fun, get the rest you need, not overwork, not overexert, not overschedule, but to live a life that you love while being a school leader. You can do both. So for those of you who are aspiring into school leadership, this is exactly where you need to be. So I'm so glad you are here, and I welcome you into the world of the Empowered Principal. All right, I'm going to dive in. Now, I will do a Q&A. For those of you who are live, I will do a Q&A at the end. If you wanted to jump on live and get coached, you can do that. If you're a little nervous about jumping on and being on screen, that's okay too. You can post your questions in the Q&A, and I will answer them directly. If you are feeling uncomfortable to ask at all on the interview or on the webinar, and you would like to get more information, you can schedule a private one-on-one call with me at no cost. We'll jump on the phone. I'll give you a 15-minute Q&A, and we'll walk through any questions that you have, because I want you to feel assured. I want you to feel confident. I want you to have fun in these interviews. That's what this is about. You are up leveling yourself in a huge way. And that can feel very scary and it can feel intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. You can go into these interviews having fun, feeling confident, feeling relaxed, being assured that you're the right match for the ideal job for you. Okay, so I'm going to dive in a little bit here. So I want to start out by telling you that getting hired in any position, but we're talking about school leadership, but any position in education, but getting hired, being an individual who gets hired, is really about the process of energetics, of being a match for that job, being the person, having the characteristics, having the qualities, having the mindset and the skill set of the person who is a match for that position, who is an ideal candidate for that job, where the people who are looking to hire someone are elated that you showed up. They're tickled pink that you decided to apply for the job because they have a need. They need a person to fulfill the responsibilities of that position. You also have a need. You want to be the person who gets hired to fulfill those responsibilities of the job. Okay. So getting hired is about the energy in which you go through the application process, the interview process, the mindset that you believe to be true about yourself, about the process of getting hired, and about those who are interviewing you. Okay, so what you're going to gain today, I'm going to talk about 3 phases of the interview process and how to approach each phase from an energetics and a mindset perspective. You can Google, and I teach this, I teach the skill set piece, but where did the skill set come from? Your skill set as a school leader, or your skill set as a person who's interviewing to land a job in school leadership, it comes from your mindset. The mindset precedes the skill set. And you have to learn by doing, so you can't know the skill set until you're doing the skill set, to practice the skill set, to become competent in the skill set. And that can't come if the mindset isn't following along and isn't planting the seeds that you are following to develop that skill set. So there are 3 phases. I'm going to walk you through those. I'm going to talk about the common mistakes we all make when we're preparing to interview and what you can do instead. And what I really desire for you is for you to enjoy this process. I know when you made the decision to what's the word I'm looking for? To pursue school leadership, what you wanted to do was just, I've decided, I'm going for it. I'm going to jump through the hoops. I need to get my admin credential. I need to take these classes. I need to get this certification. I need to apply. However, all of the tactical, the technical things you have to do, the action items, you're doing those. And there's this identity shift that has to happen. Your identity was as a teacher, or maybe an instructional coach, or maybe you were a teacher leader, or maybe you were in a position where you were in a quasi, leadership type position. But there is an identity shift that has to occur mentally in your mind of how you identify. And there's usually a gap. We go from believing in ourselves as a teacher, we build that belief set up as we practice the art and skill of teaching. We gain the skill set in our work, but our belief about our ability to teach came first. You had to believe I'm capable of being a teacher. I'm going to go through the classes and the coursework. I'm going to go through my student teaching. I'm going to get my credential. I'm going to apply that credential. I'm going to apply for these jobs. I'm going to get in there. And then you learn the skill set. So there's mindset and skill set. This is about the mindset and the energetics behind getting hired, because I want you to feel good while you're in the interviews. The better you feel about yourself in the interview process and the people who are interviewing you, the more comfortable you will be, the more relaxed you will be, the easier it will be to have conversations and for them to authentically get to know you and connect with you in that 20-minute or 30-minute conversation. Okay. And then I'm going to wrap things up by helping you understand how to handle a no and how to create that yes and what to do when you get the yes. Okay. So this is about energetics. Phase 1 of this process is the portal of possibility. So you cannot land a job in school leadership if you first don't think about becoming a school leader. So the thought is planted first. Every possibility in your life, everything you've ever accomplished, every goal, every success you've had, it all started with the seed of a thought. So you thought about becoming a teacher before you actually went through the actions to become a teacher. You thought about becoming an instructional coach before you actually applied for the instructional coach position or talked to your friends or got whatever additional certifications you needed. Before you learned to ride a bike, you had a desire to learn how to ride a bike. You thought about riding a bike. Right? You went from training wheels to really wanting to be that kid who was free to jump on a 2-wheel bike and go places, but you didn't have the skill set. The mindset comes first. You plant the seed. You had a thought. So as a teacher, as an instructional coach, now you're aspiring into school leadership. You're in your mind with it. You're imagining, you're envisioning, you're visualizing what it would feel like, what it would be like, the experience. What would you be thinking about? What would you be feeling about? How would you be showing up? What are your visions for your school? How do you want to impact as a school leader? You're in your mind, and that it resonates in your body through emotion. So you probably had some kind of thought like, I need a change. I'm ready for a new challenge. Or you're watching your school principal and you're like, wait a minute, I could do that. I think I could do that. I actually think I could be a school leader. Seed planted. Now we have an identity, one that's starting to evolve, a brand new one. So you're shedding an old identity, like the most I can do is ever be a teacher, or the highest position I can be in is an instructional coach or some type of teacher leader position. And then you expand that portal of possibility. And by goodness, all of a sudden, you're thinking about school leadership. And you're like, I could do that. As you're thinking, it's triggering possibility within you. There is an energy building up inside of you. You're thinking about how it would feel, the impact, what you'd prioritize, what you'd wear, how you're going to decorate your office, all the cool things you're going to do for your staff and your students. You start to feel the energy of being the version of you that is the principal or is the district leader, whatever position you're going for. But this first phase, I call it the pre-phase, right? There is a moment of decision. You step, it's like stepping into a department store and you're looking around at all of the options, all of the things that you could buy, all of the clothing, all of the shoes, all of the handbags, all of it. You're like, whoa, there is so much possibility in here. I could use that style. I could do this style. I could go over here and be this style. I could be casual. I can be business. I can be professional. I can be very formal. I could be beachy, right? All the different styles that you see in a department store. There's so many portals. You have stepped into a portal of possibility. You are looking around. Wow, I could be an AP. I could be a dean of students. I could be a lead principal. I could be an elementary, a middle, a high school principal. I could be at a private school, a public school, a charter school. I could be at a rural school, an urban school, a large school, a small school. All of a sudden, there are so many options. Your brain's like, whoa, so much possibility, okay? And it's fun. Like you're window shopping at this point when you're an aspiring leader. You're window shopping. Your interviews are about kind of window shopping because you're looking for the right match. You're looking for the ideal match for you as a position, as a career. But I want you just to think back to when you were in that land of like that moment, the awareness came, the possibility, the idea. Though, imagine if I could, or I think I could do this. Like you start to step into that vision of what it might look and feel like to be a school leader. So you play around with that, but then after you're playing with it and delighting in it and how much fun it's going to be and like how good it's going to feel, you make a decision. I'm going for it. I'm doing this. And when you acknowledge all of the possibilities, the possibility that you can be a school leader, that your identity, you're open to an identity shift and evolution in your identity as an educator. When you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm ready, you ignite potential. And once that explodes, it creates energy, momentum. And our brain, when we're in this space of like, the doing of, like we shift from being in our minds and thinking about it and visualizing it to generating momentum and excitement and eagerness and anticipation. We do one of two things. We either go into go mode, like action, 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 action. We get excited. We lean into that potential. We're eager. We dive right in. We jump. We do the to-do list. We start checking off all the things. Or it feels overwhelming. It's like, oh my gosh, doubt, fear, second guessing ourselves. We might delay, we might play small, we might like procrastinate or take a step back and say, whoa, this feels a little too much for me. I need to take a moment. I need to think about this. The brain kind of goes into one direction or the other. We go into hyper speed and we do, and we jump through the hoops, or we pause. Okay. So I just want you to know that usually at some point, even for the doers, even for the people who jump in and go, and this is what I highly recommend. I highly, highly recommend you take action in spite of fear. That the doubts are going to come up at some point. They might not in the beginning when you're just playing around with the idea, but you're not having to take the action. The rubber hasn't hit the road yet. Where the rubber hits the road is when you are like, okay, what actions do I actually have to take? That's when the doubt or the fear or the overwhelm, it feels real all of a sudden. And it's like, whoa, I kind of want to step out of the store for a minute and just like take my breath. But I advise you not to step out of the store. Stay in the portal of possibility and keep dreaming, keep imagining, but focus on why you're doing this. Like your brain is going to want to know what are all the actions? What are the right things to do? Now, sometimes we kick into what I call comfortable action, where we're like, we're going to research, we're going to talk to people, we're going to collect information, we're going to listen to a podcast, we're going to take this webinar, and we're just going to think, we're going to like do these actions that feel like they're proactive, but they're really like they're passive action. They're comfortable actions. They are actions that we can say we're taking action, but they're a dangerous type of action because they don't dig in and generate the results you want. Okay. It's like you're just like skimming the surface and pretending to do the actions you need to do versus actually taking the action. So notice if you're an aspiring school leader and you're like, I really want a job. And I say to you like, okay, if you really want a job, how many interviews have you signed up for? How many interviews did you go to? How many no's did you get? Are you willing to collect 10 no's before you get a yes? Are you willing to feel the disappointment and the rejection that comes with interviewing? Not everybody is. Or are you willing to sit in an interview and not know the answer to a question? Are you willing to feel that discomfort? Are you willing to go into districts that you had no idea or no intention of, but you go just for the interview experience? And what if they end up being the perfect match? Are you willing to look at things outside your little scope of what you think would be perfect? Are you willing to try middle school? Are you willing to be an AP first? Are you willing to go to public if you're private or private if you're public? Like how big is that portal of possibility? How willing are you? And that's where we start to hit our limiting belief. We start to hit like the edges of what we feel comfortable in. So there's action that we take that's comfortable and passive, and it kind of feels like we're checking the boxes, but we're really not checking the boxes. Okay, so notice what kind of action are you taking? Is it the kind of action where you're like, I'm out there in front of the people doing the things, applying, I'm being honest with myself, I'm being honest with my colleagues, I'm being honest about that I'm out there applying. Am I out there doing the thing, or am I thinking about doing the thing? Okay. At some point along the line, doubt will set in. You're going to get a no. It's going to crush you. You're going to feel disappointed and you're going to doubt yourself. Am I cut out for school leadership? People don't like me. This is a lot of work. I'm not sure I have what it takes. Like, or we get into this kind of blaming of like, well, they were rude or they asked weird questions, or, there's going to be a roller coaster, ups and downs and twists and curves on the interview journey. Are you prepared for that? And are you willing to do it? Because when we get a no, we get rejected, we either turn it to ourselves or we abdicate it out, we turn it back to somebody else. When the truth is that nothing's gone wrong, it's just a part of the journey. Not everybody is an ideal fit for us, and we aren't an ideal fit for everybody else. It's just being human on the planet. We're going to get some no's. You're going to have weird interview vibes. You're going to have your energy off one day. That's okay. They're going to have their energy off one day. You're going to have amazing interviews and you can't understand why you didn't get hired, but they never tell you. There will be interviews where you don't get any closure. There will be interviews where they're like, we wanted you, but there are going to be interviews that ghost you all. Like you're going to get to the nth round and then they're going to ghost you. Like it's all going to happen. Are you up for that? That's what coaching helps you do, is navigate the emotional aspect, the energetic aspect of interviewing. because it requires you to mature up, to be emotionally mature, emotionally stable, emotionally resilient, to know how to process disappointment, process negativity, process, weird vibes, process, the rejection. So phase one is like getting very honest and clear with yourself. What do I want and why? Determine your leadership values. If you were a school leader, let's say you already got hired, what would your values be? What would your fears and doubts be? Being new is scary. Having to learn a brand new job and up-leveling yourself and identity shifts of this magnitude, they're big gaps. So it can feel like you're crossing the Grand Canyon. But what we do, especially in coaching and EPC, the program that I offer, we put little pavers in place, right? Little stepping stones for you, so that the bridge all of a sudden you start to have these safe spaces where you can land. I know how to do this as a leader. I know how to do that. And you build up your identity to bring yourself where you are now to where you want to be. Okay. So what are your fears and doubts? What are you avoiding? You've got to get honest with yourself. What's the worst thing that could happen? What am I super afraid of? What am I afraid to know? A lot of times people say, like, I'm afraid to learn that I'm not good enough. You can't not be good enough if you keep trying. You're going to get the job. We're going to get you the job. It's a matter of numbers. It's a math game, right? The more times you apply, your probability goes up and the potential of you getting hired increases dramatically. So it's about committing. So the phase one, before you do any interview prep, get really clear, really honest with yourself, make the decision. I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm open and available for all of the emotions, all of the experiences that are going to come my way. I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to embrace the misadventures, as I call them. And I'm going to let myself feel all the feels, because you are going to have to feel those feels after you get hired. If you think disappointment and rejection are two emotions that you should never have to feel, or you never want to feel them, you might want to reconsider school leadership, because you will be disappointed. You will be rejected. You're going to have people who don't like you. You're going to have situations that disappoint you. You're going to fail a lot, like 90%. Are you up for that? That's what this is. And so it's about being in a space where you can handle any emotion that comes your way and allowing it to feel it. But I'll tell you this, I know emotions are the most painful thing that humans go through. I've seen it. I've witnessed it in myself. I've witnessed it in others. But we were designed to handle emotion. We wouldn't be wired for emotion if we couldn't handle them. Are they uncomfortable? Oh my goodness, yes. Does it feel like it's never going to go away? Sometimes. But I promise you, the human body, the human heart, the human mind, the human soul was designed to process and allow for disappointment, process and allow for rejection. Okay. So as much as you're going to think about all the doubt, all the bad things that could happen, let your brain go there. I also want you to give it equal airtime and think about what you do want, what would delight you, what would be over the top. Get yourself in the energy of possibility and potentiality. Okay. So when obstacles come up in this first phase, which is the portal of possibility and committing to the decision of the process, committing to the process, I'm going to be a school leader. I'm going to practice and play around with, and just like trying on a different style that you've never worn before. And you're like, I'm going to try on this new suit. I don't usually wear suits. I usually wear dresses, but this suit, it feels good. It looks good. I'm up leveling my wardrobe. I'm just going to try it on. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to wear it every day of the week, but you're just in the dressing room trying it on. That's what this phase is. I'm trying on the hat of school leadership and what it feels like. Okay. So when you hit that doubt, I should say, something's going to come up and you are going to feel like I can't handle, or I don't know, or anytime that comes up, I don't know how to, I don't think I can handle, like, what if this happened at school? I don't think I could handle that, or I would have no idea how to handle this. Write down all of the obstacles, all of the fears of being a school leader. What are the bad things that could happen, or the situations you feel like you couldn't handle? Write them down And then just ask yourself, if I had to deal with this, what would I do? What support would I reach out for? Who would I lean on for support? What decisions would I make in this? How would I handle this with my staff? How would I hold space for students, families, school, whatever the situation is? Look at the obstacles because they're there whether you acknowledge them or not. You might as well acknowledge them. So much of interviewing, this first phase is the most important because phases 2 and 3 are just the action items. This is the mindset piece, and mindset comes before skill set. Okay. All right. Phase 2, it's the interview prep. I'm not talking about researching do all of the things you already know how to do. Research their core values, research their initiatives, know what platforms and programs they are using, what curriculum that they're implementing, do that research that you already know how to do. This is talking about energetic preparation. This is where your energy, your excitement, your enthusiasm, your commitment, your determination to land this job, we're going to kick it into action. So the first phase is about the decision-making process and the mindset shifts required to identify as a candidate for school leadership. I'm ready. I'm willing. I can handle anything. I will learn. I'm open. Let's go. That's phase 1. Then you get into phase 2. It's the actual actions you need to take. So the resume updating, practicing interview questions, role modeling mock interviews, those are the actions you need to take. But then there are other actions that you might not realize, and they consume a lot of time and energy and focus. It's the comfortable actions. This is where you get into like calling every friend and mentor you've ever had. You call your friends who are already school leaders and ask them all the questions. You get into the Facebook groups, the principal Facebook groups, and you're asking, how should I prepare? What should I do? Like, you're doing all this passive stuff, but it's not preparing you mentally, emotionally, physically to walk into that interview and nail it. So don't distract yourself with the comfortable actions, the actions that just add more information and more confusion and more uncertainty. Because the more you ask other people what you should do in your interviews and how you should prep and prepare and what it's like to be now you're getting all of their thoughts and opinions into your brain, and you're on overload. You doubt yourself, you get confused, you compare and despair, you think that there's never enough room in the brain or time to learn all of this and do all of this and be the perfect leader. You're going to weigh yourself down the more you look externally. You need to get clean and aligned within yourself. Okay? It's not a problem to go do those things, but it is a distraction and it is comfortable action. The uncomfortable action you need to take is getting your to-do list checked off, going through the motions, like whatever credentials you need and certifications and turning it into the state and all of that. You know what you need to do. What gets uncomfortable are the other things you need to do, which is getting your mindset ready and looking at where you have self-doubts, where you don't feel empowered, where you think you can't handle it. And also actually just doing the thing that you don't know how to do, going in there when you don't have all the answers, signing up for interviews that might not feel like it's a fit right now. You cannot know your ideal fit if you don't go out and play the game of interviewing. It's just like dating. You can't possibly land a mate if you don't date. Okay? If you stay home and watch Bridgerton or Netflix or whatever your flavor is, if you're home thinking about dating, you're never going to find that mate if you don't date. Same is true with interviewing. You cannot find your ideal match of a position if you're only trying to get one position. So many people will hire me and they'll say, like, I want to land, my principal's retiring. I want to get my school. And I'll say, okay, do you want your school or do you want a job in school leadership? Those are two different things. We can try and land you that job, but are you willing to go out and practice so that when it's time to interview for the perfect position. Are you ready? Or are you going to be a one and done? And what happens if you blow the interview because you were so nervous? Because it's a one chance, right? Imagine having 10 interviews and being so excited about all 10. So if one says no, it's not so bad. There's 9 more to go, right? So in this stage, you're preparing, you're actually taking the action, which is scheduling interviews, researching, scheduling, and doing the thing. It's knowing what you want and why you want it, taking time to visualize that, determining. Now look, I teach my clients, when people hire me to help them get hired, I teach them specifically the ideal leadership position protocol, how to focus on what you want. Like if you know, hands down, high school is not for you, that's okay. That's okay. You can still do elementary and middle. And you might say, but I just want elementary. Okay, if you can find enough interviews that are just elementary, let's go for it. But if there's a middle school position open, I would invite you to go practice, try it out, see what you think. You might end up liking it. That happened to one of my clients. She literally interviewed, I don't know, 20, 30 times and was not landing jobs. But it's because she wanted this one job. So she was kind of like energetically like, this isn't what I want. That's not. And I said, you're going to go all in because you never know. And what ended up happening is that she got hired at a middle school instead of an elementary, and she's never been happier and she's never made more money. She doubled her salary. It's possible for you. You can make what you want, but be open. You don't know the ideal match unless you try, okay? There are 3 beliefs you've got to think. This is called the belief triad. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in the position. You've got to believe in the people hiring you. So here are the 3 beliefs. Write them down. 1, I am capable and ready right now. You have everything you need within you. You don't have to hone your skills. You can't even know how to hone your skills until you land the job. You've got to do the work to land the job. Right now, the skill set that you are building is, I know how to get hired. I am an aspiring principal who knows how to get hired. I get out there, I do the hiring, I do the interviewing. I am practicing being very skilled at getting hired. That is the skill set you're developing right now. It's selling yourself as you are right now to land into a position where then you build that skill set. Mindset first, skill set second. I'm capable right now with my little package as is, it's ready. As long as you have your credentials and your paperwork and whatever in place so that you're eligible. Because if you're not eligible, go get eligible. That's as simple as that. Once you're eligible, now we got to believe that you are ready, that your potential is unfolding before you. The possibilities are endless. You're capable, ready, and right now. Thought number 2, people want to hire me. Have you gone into an interview and you're like, I don't feel like they liked me. They just didn't like me. These people don't like me. I think they have somebody else in mind. I think it's an inside hire. You have to believe that you have charisma so big that you are so confident, so skilled, even though you don't know what you're doing, which is, I know, kind of funny, but you can be confident and new, because confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. Nobody knows everything. Confidence comes from trusting that you are capable of figuring it out. Confidence comes from trusting that you can handle whatever comes your way. Even when it's messy, even when you mess up, even when it's hard, even when there are tears, even when there are days of defeat. You go to bed, get some rest, and you wake up the next day. Okay, I've got this. You're capable and ready right now, and people want to hire you. You have to believe that they want you. Imagine going out and dating, and every person you meet, your energy vibe is like, you probably don't want me. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm really not that good. I'm not that pretty, like I'm really not a good partner. I don't think you want to hire me. I don't think you want to date me. There's probably somebody so much better for you out there. Who wants to date somebody like that? Who wants to hire a principal who's like, I'm not that great. I think you want to hire somebody else. Or these people, you don't like me. I can just tell you don't like me. There's an energy. That energy is coming from you. It's a reflection of your not wanting them to like you. You're thinking you don't like me. How do you know that? You're not in their brain. They're looking for a match. You're looking for a match. They want to like you. Trust me. They want to hire you. Trust me. They're not spending their time and their energy and, their precious assets of resources on interviewing because they don't like you and they don't want to hire you. They're doing it because they do want to find who is the right fit. They want to find someone they like. They want to find somebody who's the right match. Okay. So thought number 2 is people want to hire me. I'm very desirable. I'm in high demand. Okay. Thought number 3, there is an ideal job available for me. So many people that hire me to help them get hired will say like, there's just no jobs. They're not available. No one can tell me that. I work with school leaders all across the country. I've worked with people in Mexico. I've worked with people in Canada. I've worked with people overseas. There are jobs in education available. The question becomes, are you going to be that match? Are you looking for them? Are you seeking out? Are you believing that they're available? People, I'll tell you this, like everyone's like, well, there's no job in my area. People move all the time. Positions open all the time. You have to be looking for it. You have to be trusting that the position's going to open. Okay. And maybe you even believe that you're willing to go somewhere else. You might be willing to relocate. How open are you? How available are you for this? Okay. So those 3 beliefs, the belief triad, believing in yourself, believing in the process, believing in other people, helps you sell yourself on you. I would hire me. Do you have that level of confidence? Like if someone interviewed me, if I was interviewing me, I'd hire me. I've got the energy. I've got the will. I'm willing to learn the skill. I'm being honest with myself. I have high integrity. I'm confident in my ability to learn new things. I'm confident in my ability to handle being new. You know how comfortable it is to be new? So many people never aspire to be a school leader because they're like, I don't want to have to go through that whole agony of being new like I did when I was a brand new teacher. That was awful. But the only way you evolve and expand yourself is when you step in. So this program attracts people who want to continually evolve and expand their experience. They want to be the biggest versions of themselves. They want a life that's almost unbelievable to other people. That's so big. That's so delightful. So this journey that you're on, if you're watching this tells me you aspire to be not just any old school principal in any old position, that you are sold on you. You're sold on your life. You're sold on the contribution that you can make to school leadership. You believe in yourself and you sell them on you, how amazing you're going to be for them. Not in some cheesy car salesy, slimy salesy kind of way, in an authentic connection between 2 people or a panel and you who want the same thing. They want to hire you. You want them to hire you. Okay. So phase 2, to just summarize this up quick, get a checklist. You're going to have to take action. You need to take uncomfortable action versus comfortable action, massive action versus passive action. Schedule them on your calendar. Focus on mindset over skill set. Remember the belief triad. Identify your leadership values. You can look up ideal positions and ideal districts and do your visioning work of what it's going to feel like and be in that energy and decide and imagine who you have to be as the version of you in that interview who lands that job. Mentally, you need to be the person who's already the school leader. And if they don't hire you when you're in that amazing energy, you're the one that got away. You're the fish they didn't catch. It's too bad for them that they missed the opportunity and that's okay. They'll find another opportunity. You're going to move on without a worry because you are going to be the catch. Okay? Because phase 3 is about the actual interview. When you're sitting down in the interview, there's a problem and a solution match. So the purpose of an interview, if you think about the purpose of an interview, the purpose of an interview from the district's perspective is to find a solution to their problem. The problem that they have is that they have a leadership position to fill. That stresses them out. It is a problem. It is a situation that they want resolved. They want to hire someone they are excited and thrilled to hire. They have a set of standards, they have a set of qualifications, they have a set of leadership qualities that they believe is their ideal match. They're looking for the right person. You are the solution to their problem because you are the ideal match. You make yourself the ideal match. So you want to be the solution to their problem. You have a problem, you want to get hired. They have a problem, they want to hire. You make it a match. So the purpose of the interview is for them to find a match and for you to find a match. You want them to be the solution to your problem, and you want to be the solution to their problem. But do not use this against yourself. Don't get caught up in your head about this. Trust that you have what it takes. You're going to go in, you're going to say, here's what I have to offer. Yes, I am new, and I can handle being new. If I don't know, I will ask questions. If I'm not sure what to do, I'll get a mentor or a coach. If I need more information, I will study and research. I will learn how to prioritize, manage my calendar, manage my emails, manage my schedule. I will learn to create balance. I will learn to build culture and school relationships. I will learn because I will be in the position, but I know I was born to be a leader. I'm destined to be a leader. I've got this. You want to reassure them. You want to focus on them, not you. When you're in the interview, you're sitting there and you're all stressed out and thinking about what you're going to say, and are you messing it up, and you're mixing your words and trying to get the right answer. You're thinking about you. You're thinking about how you feel. You're not thinking about what they need, being of service to the district that you're interviewing with. So get curious about what they are looking for, what they want. Every district's a little bit different. You'll know the vibe by the questions that they ask and what they're looking for. And it's okay to ask them, tell me more about this. Like, what are you looking for in whatever the question is? Okay. Notice what they ask and how they ask it. Be very upfront about asking clarifying questions because you're trying to establish curiosity and interest in them. You're providing a service. I'm here to offer my services as a school leader. How can I help you? That's what an interview is for. So be in their heads as much as possible. And then offer that solution. Here's what I can offer. Be honest about that. Be honest and open and willing and transparent. These are the results I've created in my past. Here's the process I used. Here's how I handled a tough situation as a teacher. Here's how I handled a collegial situation, a parent situation. Something, bring a story to the table. People connect with stories. Paint the vision of how you can help them for them. They need to see you in that position and be like, ooh, yeah, I can see this person in the position. I see how she works. I see her energy. I can see her fitting in. Anticipate any potential objections that they might have. Like, let's say they ask you a question and you don't really know, and you can say like, the truth is that I haven't been a school leader before, so I can't answer that and I can't articulate it really specifically, but here's how I would approach it. There are going to be so many things that I don't know as a new leader, and here's how I handle being new. And I have a whole course on how to be new in my program. You can take that. You want to anticipate why they might not hire you. What would be the reasons that they wouldn't hire you? It's going to be a lack of belief on your end. They're going to sense you don't believe in yourself, and they're going to be like, well, if she doesn't believe in herself, how can we believe in her? Or you don't believe in them. Like, oh, this isn't a very good fit. They don't want to hire somebody when you're like, meh, I don't know. I don't know about this school. I don't know about these people, about this district. Or if you're like, the interview process is so taxing. I've just, I've tried really hard and I've had 3 interviews and nobody's hired me. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to hire that. They want a mature person who's like, I'm willing to interview for as long as it takes. And I'm hoping to be the best match for you. And I'm hoping you're the best match for me. Equal powers, equal needs, right? They have a problem. You both have a problem. You equalize the balance. It isn't you begging for a position and it isn't about them begging you for the position. It's not wrong to have weaknesses. It's not wrong to be new. That's part of being human. They want honesty and transparency far more than they want perfection and polished. So what creates a problem solution match? They know you, they like you, they trust you. So in 30 minutes, they have to get to know a little bit about you. They have to establish a connection to like you, a smile. They have to hear a story about you, that develop some initial bonds of trust where they're like, I can trust this person. I think I can see them in the position. Because here's what the interview panel needs to feel. They need to feel interested in you. Curious. Say more. I like what this person has to say. They're telling stories. They're being honest. Wow, that's refreshing. They're not trying to hide the fact that they've never done school leadership before. They're engaging. I feel engaged. I like this interview. I'm having fun as the interview panelist. Like, this person's intriguing. They're interesting. They're engaging. I feel understood as a panelist because we have this school and we really need to get the test scores up and the community's tough and the families are tough or the behaviors are rough or, we need to get the grade levels working together better. This candidate understands what we're looking for. They're looking for school culture, or they're looking for test score improvement, or they're looking for attendance growth. They're looking for to establish a better connection in their culture and community. They want to feel connected to you. They want to feel comfortable with you. And I know you only have 30 minutes to do that, but the way you do that is by you come in, desiring to know them, to like them, to trust them, to seek out the same things in them. They want to feel safe and confident that they're making the right decision. They want to have fun in the interview. They like what you have to say. They know this, they believe that you know what they're looking for. They want to believe ultimately hiring you was the best decision they ever made. This person was the match. It's the ideal person for us. We are so thrilled. So you just, in order to create that energy within the interview, you do the same thing for yourself. You think the same thoughts that you want them thinking. This interview is fun. I like what they have to say. They're exactly what I'm looking for. I'm exactly what they're looking for. I can totally see working here. Hiring me really is the wisest decision you can make. Not from an arrogant place, but from I'm it. I can do this. We are a problem solution match. Okay. So if you get a yes, breathe it in and just let it sink in before you take any action. Celebrate it, scream, dance, put on some music, notice your thoughts and feelings, write them down, journal about them, capture it. It's such a milestone moment. It's such a big deal. And acknowledge yourself. Feel the pride. You created this result for yourself. So when you get the yes and you're also a yes and there's a match, it's made in heaven. It's the next chapter of your life. You want to acknowledge the hard work that you did mentally, emotionally, and physically. You actually took the actions. You took the massive action and you took the uncomfortable actions to get hired. For most of us, we get a no at least once, maybe more. You need to understand how to process disappointment. You're going to go all in on these interviews and you're going to expect a yes. You will land a yes eventually, but sometimes you'll get a no. Don't rush through it. Don't ignore the disappointment. Don't try to distract yourself from it. Be disappointed. Just sit with it. I'm really label it, name it. I'm really disappointed. Man, I really wanted that job. I thought I had that one. I was really proud of how I interviewed. Or I'm super bummed because I didn't, my energy was off. I didn't feel connected, or I didn't establish, that connection with them. Just wasn't it. That wasn't my best interview. Feel that burn. It feels like a burn. To me, it feels like a burn. It might feel different for you, but for me, I feel like the burn of like defeat, agony, disappointment. And I just want you to acknowledge that disappointment's a part of the game, but you can handle it. And the more you practice disappointment as an aspiring leader, the better you're going to be able to handle it when you have to deal with it while you're in the job. Because here's what a no means. It just wasn't the right match. Just like dating, there are people who want to date you and people who don't, and it feels disappointed to be rejected. But in the end, it was never going to be. It wasn't the right match. Your ideal job is still out there waiting for you. Be curious, explore your thoughts, stockpile those no's, get to a yes. It means nothing about you as a human. You are 100% worthy. You always have been. You always will be. You're capable. It's not about that. It's about weathering the emotional roller coaster of the interview process. That's really what makes or breaks people. If you believe in yourself and you trust the process and you do your best to connect with the people, you will land the job. You just have to learn and grow and trust. So detach from attachment. Trying to get this one job, as I mentioned before, is called attaching. You get attached and you're even more disappointment, because it's like, again, like dating. If you're like this one person, there's one person in the world for me and that's it. And that person is like, I like you, but I don't love you. We're not really a match. And they say, no, thank you. And they go on their separate way. And that was it. You're devastated. You have to detach from attachment, from trying to attach to everything. You don't know what the ideal match is. So you go out there and apply to all the things. The more interviews you have lined up, you won't be as attached to any one interview. Okay. So in wrapping this up, you only have to believe 51%. It doesn't have to be all or none. You want to be in a relaxed confidence. You don't want to be arrogant. You don't want to be assuming. You don't want to feel entitled, because that's going to lean into the energy of like, it's their fault if they don't hire you. And now you're mad at them, or you're mad at the process. You want to be in this middle space of like, I know that I'm new, but I know I can handle it. Here's what I do have to offer. Here are my past experiences. Here's my vision for the future. Here's the energy I'm bringing to this. I want to support you and your ideas. I want to support your initiatives and also make them my own. I want to make this a win-win. I want to be on the team. So you want the job and you're eager, but you're also confident to know that other jobs are available to you. There's the balance there. People are really attracted to clients and clients into people who are interviewing the candidates who have this balanced energy of like, I'm relaxed, but I'm confident, but I also am genuinely interested and I'm genuinely connecting to you in this moment, in this interview, to see if we're truly a match. And then the last words of advice would be not to be in a rush. Trust that the right job will come up in the right time. And you can't know the right job. You have an idea of what it might look and feel like, but you'll feel when it's ready. You'll feel the click. You'll know. You'll know when you know. So don't go crazy with just trying to get that one job, or off, like telling them skills you don't have, like over offering, over delivering to the point of like, you can't really deliver on that. You're just promising them big things. Don't do that. Be authentic. All right. So if anybody has any questions, look it up. And if not, I shall bid you adieu. If you're watching this as a replay and you have questions or you want coaching, you can come into the Empowered Principal Facebook group. There is a community of over 2,000 principals who are in that group who can answer your questions. I'm in there on the daily. I will answer your questions. If you want to speak to me in person, you can go to my website and you can click on my calendar. You can schedule a phone conversation with me. It's free of charge. I never charge for consults. I'll jump on the call with you and we'll talk through where you're at and where you want to be. And I'll give you some tips to get you hired and we'll decide if we're a match to work together. All right. My friends, this has been my pleasure, my honor. I am cheering you on. I am supporting you. And I know that you have everything it takes to be the most empowered version of yourself. I invite you into the Empowered Principal Collaborative because getting hired is the first step, but then you have a whole new journey, and that is the school leadership experience. And that's what I'm here. That's my expertise. I'm a certified life and leadership coach for school leaders, and I help you navigate all of the demands of the job, create balance, create the results you want, live an exceptional life so you're not overworked, not burned out, and you have sustainable school leadership. And that's what I do. That's my jam. That's what I love to do. I love to help you be the best version of you. And the best version of you is the empowered version of you. Love you all. Have an amazing week. Talk to you soon. Take good care.